What is the first year of franchise ownership like with Preservan? Hey, I'm Ty. I'm the founder of Preservan, and today we are going to be speaking with Logan Brown of Jacksonville, Florida, and hearing about his experience, the good, the bad, and all the in between on this very first episode of year one. So, hey, Logan, thanks for joining us and just having a quick conversation and interview about what it's been like in this last year, your first year as a Preservan franchise owner. So I'm excited to hear from you. I got some really great questions I'm going to ask you, but just let's get started here. You know, what in your own words has the last year been like since you came out to Oklahoma and trained last summer?
Been exciting. It's been exciting. Yeah, I actually kind of really love this work and it's worked out so far and obviously there have been some, you know, it's been a roller coaster at times, but that's any year, first year of business. I mean, you got to kind of expect that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. what you know and if you're watching this and you this is your first time to meet Logan, to hear about Logan, hear from Logan, I encourage you to check in the description. I will drop the link to Logan's initial interview that he did back when he came out to Oklahoma. But when you think about your first year as a Preservan franchise owner in Jacksonville, Florida, what are you the most proud of?
Uh, I'm the most proud of, well, my guys that I work with, but also like I don't know, I don't know. I would say my guys, like they put in the work and they're the star of the show and they get things done and I was fortunate enough to train them and they've done very well and they take their job very serious and they enjoy what they do. So also the the neighborhoods I
Yeah.
go to, like my neighbors, I mean, they love what we do and they're really happy to see us. And for the most part, I've never had a cranky neighbor, so,
You're lucky, man. You're lucky. I've
yeah.
had a few. Well, let's dig in there a little bit, your guys. So, when when we onboarded you and when we started talking during the initial development, I think you had a guy in mind, named Robert.
Mhm.
Let's talk about is Robert still with you? How has your team grown? What does that look like, kind of bringing people into this service where it's not like you can go hire an epoxy technician, you have to kind of recruit them and train them. What's that been like? What's retainage been like? How's that all gone for you?
So far it's been great. We have, Robert, was here since the beginning. He went to OKC, and, then we hired Leos, and both guys have been doing very well. Robert is, I'll tell him this all the time. He's a little slow to learn, but that's okay. Once he learns, he gets it and he masters it better than anyone else. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the whole determination thing. It's like
Yeah.
if you want it, you're gonna go get it. And
Yeah.
that's what Robert does, and he brings a lot to the table as far as, like, management, that's his background, and he brings a lot of good ideas that I've really, taken on, so it's been great working with him and Leos as well.
Yeah.
So they're great dudes.
What I remember about Robert, and I had always were trying to figure out, is this gonna be the right fit? Gonna be, and you guys were pretty new in the system when we got started. You guys are training in August, but there were two things I noticed about Robert. One is it was brutally hot when you guys were here training in Oklahoma City. I think it was 100 degrees. We were working on a house that was in like direct sunlight, but Robert, man, the sweat, the heat didn't phase him one bit. He just kept on going. And then when we went afterwards and we did the axe throwing thing, uh Robert, when he started, I think we hung out there for an hour or two. Robert, when he started, like, he couldn't hit the board.
He
And
could
then,
hit the
like,
wall.
he couldn't hit the wall. Like, it was everywhere. It was a little scary. He's throwing this axe
Yeah.
around. But what I noticed was, like, each time, like a system, like, it was just like, first he missed, then he stuck it in the wall. and then it got closer and closer and closer to the bullseye. And then by the end of it, we're playing a game, and he's like, not only is he hitting the center bullseye, but he's hitting these other marks to like up the score. And I'm guessing that, kind of to your point, that's kind of been what it's like to manage him through this last year.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
exactly. It's a good analogy, and it's strange how we he did that. He hit the winning shot too in the end.
that's right.
So
That's right.
yeah. Beat as
uh,
long as we beat Dallas, that's all I care about.
that's right. As long as you beat Ben in Dallas, and I know that's still going, right? You're still
Oh
trying to.
yeah, absolutely. I'm still trying to catch up.
That's right. Friendly competition inside the system. There's nothing wrong with that. Uh, so, I know bringing people on, serving your neighbors, that's all really great stuff. But, as far as your first year in business ownership, what's the reality? Like, people might be listening to this, and you can get really excited about, oh, I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to leave my job and I'm going to be a business owner. But sometimes, like, what's the reality of running a business? And what were your expectations going in, and how were those expectations kind of corrected or changed as the year went on?
Well, I'll start with expectations. I guess expectations have been kind of I don't want to say on point, but within the realm of kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
Uh, and that's a good thing. So, but I'm not afraid of hard work, and
Yeah.
really, if someone's going to be taking something like this on, in any capacity, in most any job that you start, you're going to have to grind, and you're going to have to move. Like you got to move. You got to
Yeah.
get really good at scheduling. You got to get really good at managing people, and if it's your first time, have at it. If you think you have the skills and um the you're persistent and you're consistent, that's really, I mean, we were talking about this earlier. It's like the most consistent, persistent people win in the end.
Yeah.
Like, and I haven't won yet. I'm not saying I've won, but if you stick at it and just keep grinding away, you will get to where you want to be. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I would say just be ready to really hone in on time management and get your schedule down. So I like Jobber. Jobber just saves my life. It's just it's great. Have your notes, have your lists, and try to stick to it. And everyone has their own style, and everyone has their own flair, and you you know play to that, right?
Yeah.
Your strengths. So.
You said something. You said you weren't afraid of hard work. For you in the first year, what did that look like when you had to kind of go like, I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm going to go do this. What were those things that you had to do when it called for it?
I had to learn the work. I I like uh I like the idea of meritocracy in
Hmm.
some instances where, like, with the business, it's like you have the person who's leading the charge, he knows how to wield a sword just as well as the guy in the front line because he's been there. And so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to master the technician role so
Yeah.
that I can properly teach. And that to me is like the number one thing to do because if you just hire someone and say, "Hey, go do this and read this thing and go do it," it's like, well, their their learning curve is going to be very steep. But if
Right.
you can show them some tips and tricks and like, just show them the trade, you're going to fast track them to be really good. And so that's what I want to do with everyone that I hire.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, and I know that you and Robert really, when you guys got started, both of you, I mean, obviously, like, rolled your sleeves up and got into the work, like the physical work, actually doing the repairs.
yep.
Uh, are you still doing it like that? Are you still doing the repairs every single day, or as you've kind of matured in your business, has that started to transition or change?
Yeah, well, since Leos came on and we got him up and running to speed, I mean, I've had to rarely work. I'll work the small odd job every once in a
Hmm.
while, just to keep my skills fresh. I kind of feel like I need to do that
Yeah.
sometimes, so I'll work a couple jobs a month, maybe, yeah, about a couple jobs a month. And every time I do it, I'm just like, trying to get better and better and better. And the guys are teaching me things now, and I still teach them every once in a while. So yeah, it's a constant learning, of course. But I still do try to every once in a while get my hands dirty. So
I do too. Like, we had a product supplier send me something, a manufacturer, and they wanted us to try something out. And somebody around the office was like, "Are you going to send that to Scott? Or are you going to send it to Colby?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I maybe, but I'm going to try it."
yeah, yeah,
I
heck yeah,
just there's just something about doing the work, and of course, now we at our corporate location, we have technicians doing the work at all you like everybody else is doing the work, but I still like there's something about being able to do it. I also feel like it's a little bit of like a badge of honor to be, whether it's the franchise owner or the franchisor, the founder is like, no, I can do this. I can still do it. Like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
if I had
yep,
to, I could put my plastic gloves on. I could get in my RRV, and I could go out and I could make money doing this just like anybody else. And I like knowing I can do it. It just makes me feel good.
yeah. No, totally. I get it's a satisfaction. Like I did this wild job downtown where you know multiple contractors were like, yeah, we're not touching this. Like we don't know where to start with this thing in this seventh floor of this building. And it was a lot of work. It was a 2-week job, and the before and afters is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it, and 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 they couldn't get anyone else. They were literally like, "You're our last hope. We have no no one else that can." Well, all right, yeah, I'll do it. Why not? So,
Yeah. Well, there's nothing like being the last hope. Usually those projects go really, really well.
oh yeah, apparently I'm a legend there now, which is
Now, that's
weird.
good. It's good for repeat work and profitability.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is all good stuff, and you guys have done a phenomenal job. But you've had to have faced some challenges this year. No, nothing that's great gets started is always easy. There's hiccups. There's things that come up along the road. What has been the biggest challenge that you faced in starting this business in that first year? And then kind of follow up to that is what was your strategy for overcoming it?
I would say, hmm, I would say the weather. When we first started, I think it was like 3 weeks of just constant rain.
Yeah.
I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." I mean, it was nice weather before when we were in OKC, it was great weather, and we get back all ready to go, we got jobs lined up, and rain every single day,
I remember
and,
that.
that was just wild, and and we learned from that in that you can get things done that, you can get other things done, whether
Yeah.
it's, inventory or, of course, first starting, it's like, well, there's nothing else to do but kind of sit on our hands.
Right.
Otherwise, you just got to roll with the punches. And I think like this year around the same time, we would have afternoon showers.
Hmm.
And so we would expect that. So we would try to schedule inside work during that time and or schedule earlier at like 7 a.m. to get a start.
Yeah.
Um, so, there are ways around things. I mean, again, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way to get it. So, yeah.
Well, and I like that, that's what's so important in business is that a lot of the challenges that we have are cyclical and they're kind of expected. Like there's very few unexpected challenges if you really think about business. And you think about home service business, like it's pretty obvious. Like we're gonna have regardless of where you're at, you're going to have some weather challenges. If you're in Florida, you're going to have those afternoon showers. If you're in Oklahoma City, you're going to have a couple of months of cold weather. If you're up north, you're going to have longer cold weather. I mean, there's all these things that we have to deal with. But and there's also challenges. There's employee challenges. There's challenges with homeowners and neighbors. But it's almost always the same thing. And really overcoming it is just realizing like this is going to happen again. What am I going to do when it happens again? So that this is the last time it impacts me this way. And that's really smart on your part to just think like this is how Florida weather works. This is how uh, the rainy season works. Let's just start earlier.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Uh, so, you know, Preserving at this point in time, we're recording this in September of 2025. We've got 17 locations across the United States. So we got a lot of franchise owners that we've brought on. You and Ben trained in August. Ben's in Dallas, right around the same time. You guys were like kind of right in the middle of kind of our growth in the last year. Uh, how's it been with the other franchise owners? I think that that's always something that kind of at least would interest me. When I was interested, like what's the relationship between franchise owners going to be? How's that been for you? What's been kind of the community of other owners like?
That's been a really bright spot for me because I respect and admire pretty much everyone at Preservan, including all the other franchise owners. They, they bring a lot of experience in their own way, and they all have something to offer. And I always say it's like they're my competitors.
Yeah.
I mean, I can really care less about competition. I'm not like who's on Google like who's my competition. I don't care. You know, if you do your own thing, you don't have to worry about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
However, it's great because they are like competition. They just happen to be in another part of the country.
Yeah.
So it's a hive mind.
Uh-huh.
You can get what they're thinking, and then you if you like that idea, you can implement it, or you can share it with other people, or if you're just starting and you're coming into this, like, hey, you got a lot of experience. If you need something, if you have a question, we can answer it. So it's just really unique. Like you don't have that in most any other business I can think of. It's crazy. It's like, hey, Ben in Dallas, what are you doing to be successful? Okay, great, awesome. Now I have that information. Hey, Steven in Athens, what are you awesome. Now I have that info. Like I just
Yeah.
you pick up the phone or just you know, Google Chat or whatever. It's insane. Like it's
No,
really great.
it is, and I was going to ask you, and you just answered it. How do you guys communicate with one another? But through Google Chat and just obviously just through the phone. But not only that, like I've watched it and I've been like, this is one of the coolest things I've ever experienced because you just see all these owners across the United States like helping one another out, lifting one another up, and then not only that, but then we're seeing like, you know, I am just blessed and fortunate to be here, and there are, and to be the guy who kind of planted the flag, hung the shingle to begin with, but then to see what others are doing elsewhere, and I'm learning. Like I'm learning a ton. You know, we've got franchise owners who are trying different services, or they're gonna make a do something in marketing, or they're doing something technical, and I'm like a sponge, which is really fun because we're listening, and then we're able to go like, wow, that really works. That's a really cool idea, or that's a really cool thing that was figured out. Let's share that with everybody else, and it's just a really cool environment of sharing and support that's been really impressive. And I know you guys have even gone back and forth with kind of, I know it's not like a book club, but you guys have read books and shared other books with others and had that. What was the book that was you and Ben? What were the books that you guys were kicking back and forth to get yourselves all excited this last summer?
10x is easier than 2x.
Yeah,
Uh, Dr. Gosh, what was his name?
Benjamin Hardy.
Oh, Benjamin Hardy. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
Sullivan. Or also Sullivan. But yeah,
yeah, and Dan
Dr. Ben
Sullivan.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Yep. And Dan
And there
Sullivan,
was
yeah.
another one too that was Benjamin Hardy that you guys were digging into. Scaling
Uh
something?
yeah, the science of scaling.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
10
This
out
was
of 10.
like it's like this like mastermind of like people just like sharing business ideas, sharing leadership ideas. It's really cool
Yeah,
stuff. It's been
yeah.
uh to your point, it has been, and this is really cool. It's been fun and exciting to build this thing with you guys, but that's been the shining spot is that camaraderie between locations. It's just fantastic. So kind of switching gears here. That's how the franchise community has been. Let's how's Jacksonville been? Like how's the community that you've gotten connected with your neighbors? You kind of touched on this in the beginning, but how have they received your services there?
Uh, well, everyone's super happy about our services. I mean, it's either, you know, pay someone to put some Bondo in or replace your windows, and that's like, 40, 60, 80, sometimes way more with the houses we've worked on. So it's like you know, we're we're hitting a niche. So
Yeah.
they're super happy with our services. And like I said, I mean, I haven't had a neighbor who wasn't happy. And if for whatever reason they wouldn't be, it's like, we can fix it, you know? It's like, so most of the things, the great thing about this business is if you mess up, you can fix it. And,
That
you
is
know,
it's very forgiving.
yeah, it's very forgiving. So it's like, it might take you a while to do the thing, but if you mess it up, you can just go back and fix it. So no, the people here really love us, and we love them. It's like, they're what pays the bills, and they're why we're in business in the first place. But the whole thing with like just preserving what's here. I mean, we have a massive historic community here in Jacksonville, and even historic homes that aren't necessarily in historic districts, but people just still wanna keep their windows and not tear up their house, and,
Yeah.
they wanna keep the character. So that's what I appreciated about Jacksonville.
It's really cool, man. Jacksonville's a beautiful city, very cool city, a lot of history. What's been your favorite project to work on, either because it was just the coolest building, or it was because it was the coolest thing that you guys did? What's been the best?
There's a lot. I could pull from a lot. I I'll say 2, there was a house on the river right in front of the Swisher House that we worked on. That was a really cool house. Robert and I were working that job kind of towards the beginning. Really, just one of those. It was right on the river. Just had beautiful, scenery. The bulkhead was there. One of the most famous houses in all of Jacksonville was right across the street, and just you had this like whenever you go to these types of homes, sometimes you just feel like you just feel very relaxed,
Mhm.
even when you're working. It's a hard thing to describe. Um, but that house, and then also I got to work on my favorite house in all of the world, and I kept putting door hangers on her house, and we wound up working on the house next door, and then she popped over the fence and she was like, "Hey, I've been meaning to call you guys." It's like, "Oh, really?" So anyways, come to find out she never got any of our door hangers because the door and she had someone there to it's like groundkeepers, and things
Yeah.
like that. So I'm thinking they probably, but her front door didn't work. So because she was having it rebuilt and everything, so she never got the door hangers, but she still let us know that, hey, I need you guys over here. So that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Well
And
well,
she
that's
and
and it
real quick, she gave me the full tour of the
Oh,
house.
yeah.
She had it completely renovated to her specs, which she did a really good job of preserving the historic everything in that house, and I was just blown away. So that was probably the best experience I've had in a very long time. So
One of the that is a really fun thing, is that whether that's older houses or newer houses, I find that we're generally working on some relatively beautiful homes and beautiful properties. And I have not like I've never received more home tours in my life, completely free home tours of just exquisite homes.
yeah, they're happy to show you when because I think especially if you know that, or if they know that, you kind of know your stuff and what you're
Yeah,
looking at. Oh, they're all about it.
yeah.
So
Uh, you talked about hanging door hangers, which is one of our kind of our boots on the ground strategies to get our name out there. But you think about our marketing strategy a whole. What's worked best for you as you've been, to get you to where you're at today? What's been the most effective marketing that you've done?
oh, believe it or not, I mean, obviously there's Meta, right? But
Yeah,
believe it
like
or not,
Facebook
like,
ads and stuff.
yeah, we've had a lot of repeat business and a lot of people who've referred us to
Wow.
other people. like a ton. I mean, I can't even, you know, yeah, they might have seen our ads, but just today, it's like, or no, yesterday, it's like, hey, Rebecca down the road uh, told us that we should give you a call. We worked on her house twice, and so, you know, it's just word of mouth, really.
Yeah.
That really brings it over the edge of like, you know, on your way to be successful is word of mouth. It's just and it's not gonna hit until, of course, 6+ months down the road.
Hmm.
Um, but when it does, you know you're doing a good job at that point.
Yeah, well, word of mouth really speaks to the team that you've built and the leadership and the quality that you guys do because no one's going to refer you or have you come back if you were terrible.
Hmm.
And so, that's something that's really pretty exciting when, we're not a repeat service necessarily, except for, wood continues to rot and people find it in different areas as they continue, a
Hmm.
renovation or moving around their house. But to get that repeat business, to get that referral business just really speaks to the quality of your team and what you've built there. Uh so prior to this, you were a truck driver, and you had been for a while. We talked about that in the other video, but this is, I'm sure, a significant change from that lifestyle. So your experience might be a little bit unique to others out there, but let's just speak to that. Like, how has owning this business been for just kind of your lifestyle, work-life balance, time with the people that you care about most? How has it been in that space?
Uh, I g- I'm super happy. Like I just and not that I wasn't when I was hauling cars, but you're out on the road a lot, and you know, depending on what part of my career, I mean, I was gone for weeks at a time sometimes, and just be home every night and just eat dinner here every night. It's like, wow, really, like I'm almost retired, you know? I mean, I was working 70, 80 hours a week
Yeah.
and just living in a truck basically, which is fine. I mean, I became institutionalized. However, this is this is great. I'm working, I might do an assessment 2 minutes from my house,
Yeah.
I might drive 15 minutes from, on the other side of the river or whatever, but you know, I'm home every day, and yeah,
You
I
don't
love
feel
what I
like
do.
you're burning it at both ends,
Nope,
staying up till the middle of the night, working all weekend.
nope, yep. I mean, yeah, sometimes I'll work some Saturdays, like Saturday mornings or something, but for the most part, just Monday through Friday. Yeah,
Yeah.
and everything is way more predictable. In that regard, I can't, you know, I, it's something that uh, I don't know if I take it for granted or if we take it for granted, but just being able to work and to come home at a reasonable time every day is just something that, if you don't have it, it just kind of sucks, you know? And now I have it again. After
Yeah.
14 years, I have it again. So I couldn't be happier.
That's good, man. It's good, and I'm sure, Samantha appreciates it, and, yeah, for sure. Uh, so, eh, as we kinda land this, last couple of questions I have, somebody out there is listening to this, and they're thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking about, obviously I only have like 70 subscribers on my channel. So everybody listening to this channel is thinking about probably a Preservan franchise.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking about that, what kind of advice would you give somebody listening? Good or bad advice? Well, hopefully it's all good advice, but things to be cautious of or things to get excited about. What kind of advice would you give somebody?
About wanting to,
Business ownership and Preservan. Yeah.
okay. Hmm. I would say uh temper your expectations. Uh However, if you're into this sort of stuff and you're into, having things, look, I'll tell you, I'll speak for this. This is what I was attracted to with Preservant. Um, is that you have a great logo, you have a great founder, you have great marketing, you have a great headquarters, you have great training, you have great support, you have all these things, a great website, it's clean, easy to go to. The colors are great. The wrap is nice. I didn't have to think about any of those things. None of it. I just focused on doing the work, making the neighbors happy, and then do your thing, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about, oh God, oh, the web developer, he's not going to be available for another couple weeks. Like, meanwhile, the system's crashing, like everything is just so well polished, right? You have company cam, you have jobber, you have all these things that just make it seamless. And you just got to go out there and you just got to work hard, right? And do
Yeah.
the thing, right? And just do the thing. So that's I don't know if that answered your question or not,
Well,
but
it does, but it also what you're stressing about, or what you're not having to stress about, are the things that I stress about all the time. When you're talking about like a web developer being 2 weeks out on something I'm trying to get done, I'm like, well, that's my life on this side of it. I just want to focus on getting the work done. Uh, but I do think one thing I could maybe, and if you agree with this, let me know. But what I can extrapolate from that is that if that's the type of person you are, if you are the type of person who sees all of that stuff kind of being done and you can go do the work, uh, you're there's a higher likely there's a strong chance of success in that if that's where you put your focus. But if you're somebody who wants to be on that other end of logos, or kind of tweaking things, this might not would be that, because kind of what you're the benefit of this franchise, or probably any other franchise if they're done right, is that
mhm.
those things are done so you can focus on serving your neighbor at the local level. Is that kind of a decent
Well,
summary of where you're headed?
100%.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So basically, and obviously not just anyone can do it. I mean, you got to have the drive, you got to have you got to think on your feet, right? I mean, you got to know some things, which, if I mean, that's what a business owner is for the most part. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had to answer that in just from that perspective, because I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Uh, Logan, I mean, you guys have had, I would classify it as a successful year. I've been really impressed with you guys. I've been really impressed with your leadership, with the team that you've built. I've been really impressed by the way that you've built it. Not that you're stepping out, but that you can move to a higher level of thinking in your business. And it started by really focusing in the early stages, focusing on quality, focusing on your team. Then once you got that, you started thinking about next level operations. So as we think about next level operations, we think about year two. Where do you see Preservan Jacksonville? What do you want to see happen in the next 12 months?
well, going back to Dr. Ben Hardy, uh, 10x is easier than 2x.
That's right.
I'd like to go that route. We're starting stain, and we have our first stain job uh, in about a week.
Also a
Which
repeat customer, correct?
also a repeat.
Yeah.
Yep, neighbor. Yeah, he had his railing was fit. He had to have his railing on his deck fence or fixed because it was rotted in a lot of areas, and it was his son's 1 year birthday party that he's like, I got to get this fixed, and you know could you do it for me a little quicker? And I did. And so he was
Yeah.
super thankful. And, I told him about we're starting stain, and then he remembered that. And then months down the road, he's like, hey, did you start stain yet? I told him, no. He's like, hey, did you start stain? I was like, yes, but it won't be until, this day. He's like, cool, whatever. Just put me on the books. So,
Yeah.
so to answer your question, we're launching, Robert is launching stain,
Yeah.
and he's gonna be basically the lead stain tech, do the assessments and everything. So
Hmm.
I want to get that branch up and running. In the next 12 months, I'd like to have uh, 3 epoxy techs, 2 stain techs, and going, you know, all out. So
Well, I can't wait for you to get there, man. And yeah, it's super exciting to launch the stain and seal service. We see big things happening for our locations. It's coming online for everybody in 2026. We have a select few that are launching a little bit earlier. But Logan, thanks for making time to share with me what your first year experience has been. Love everything you're doing. Love your team. You guys keep up the hard work, and we'll see you real soon, man.
Thanks, Ty. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for
Later.
everything.